Namaste, beloved ones, and welcome to Shri and Kira Live, the voice of passionate action. I am wisdom teacher Shri Ram Ka.
And I am Master Lady Kira Ra, welcoming you to an extraordinary moment. And I know in your heart you're already feeling it. So why don't we just bring our hands to our heart as Shri and I prepare to welcome today the amazing blessing of the 7 days of hope revealed. Why have we been doing this? What have we accomplished? Where are we going? And to synergize with all of that, we are just so blessed to also be here today with the Global Silent Minute with Maver here live. So you really want to be
Yes.
with us together. We also have some Yucatan revelations coming up, pyramid updates, clinic updates. I mean, it's just a big moment of love. So welcome. And, you know, Shri, as this is our first week broadcasting over at YouTube at Oneness Talk Radio, want to give a shout out to all of you over at Oneness Talk Radio YouTube. And please make sure to go ahead and subscribe while you're over there. And also a big wave out there to Jess, who's over at Official Shri and Kira, sending people to YouTube. And a hello to everybody over at Sign. We are so blessed to be here with all of us today, saying yes to humanity, yes to peace, yes to this moment.
Beloved ones, let's take a moment together and gather in sacred community. And that gathering happens quite easily when we breathe with intention and relax into trust. Let's do that together. Big breath in. So, one more, please.
Yeah.
Big breath in. So. And in this space, I am, as you are, and we are here together.
In that ignition of the smile and the presence of being. And so, beautiful ones, welcome to July. And I want to first share with you, if you're kind of wondering what's going on behind here, well, this is all about the hope and the unification that's before us right now. And we're going to be getting to that as we move through what's going on in July, because July is a beautiful moment of experience. It is a moment that is calling forward all of the clarity through that awareness of June that was the ignition of the choices made in May. And so as we roll into this July moment, it is really very much about activating the freedom that comes through presence, the freedom that emerges as we say yes without any hesitancy, in the divine trust of that which I am. So breathing that in, as Shri was just mentioning, that's why we're in this watery sea of creation today, because it's all about the ignition of the sea of neutrality. And in that sea of neutrality, we are able to sustain the creation. All of the miracle energy manifests. And I do, Shri, want to also give a shout out. You know, yesterday during the Mastery Mentorship Gathering, you know, every first Saturday of the month, we get together at the Mastery Mentorship Gathering and, you know, had the blessing of really connecting on some very deep miracle levels.
It was such a sweet gathering of committed people.
Yeah.
And whenever a group of committed people come together with sincerity, with love, and with presence, miracles spontaneously occur. That which is nonlinear is our birthright. And so we celebrate and want to acknowledge the miracle team and the Mastery Mentorship team. We kind of call them both because they are the miracle makers, and you can find out more by checking out the Shri and Kira app.
Yeah, just go to your app store, whichever product you have, and go get our app, Spiritual Mastery with Shri and Kira, and have more fun. So speaking of having more fun, let's dive in. You ready? Let's put up that July UpLevel. So here we go, Shri. We're going to start with the July UpLevel calendar. There it is. We've got a lot to show you today. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to share. So here we are. Let us first remember that this is the month where you are able to honestly command the light. However, we can only command that light through the gift of the unification of sincerity, love, and presence. July ignites the momentum of the unification that is building through the planet right now, that is rapidly, like that beautiful bell ringing every month on these full moons, leading us to that moment, that September equinox, when we will sit together in the first completed pyramid of peace peace. And together, all of the indigenous leaders that will be here live will sit together to call in the energy of unification, of unified presence. And so right now in July, this is the place. This is the moment. Everything that we are setting in place for the rest of this year, everything that you are looking to bring together, all the pieces of the puzzle, that's why I call it the kaleidoscope month. It's all about the place where the miracles are manifested. All of the puzzle pieces are showing up and all of the gifts are being revealed. Let us not forget that the ascended numerological code for this month is the 11. It is the one reflecting the one. It is the one and the one. It is the one within and the one that I am. And as you gaze at the art and you really notice, certainly that energy of that transformative butterfly comes forward. But remember, we started crowning that energy last Wednesday on June 29th. And as you see what's moving this month, look at July 13th. And the reason I want to bring your attention there is if you look at that little violet flame emission coming out there right by that 1 and the 3, that is literally the moment. It is a 5th dimensional full mastery super moon. And the reason we use Eastern time in 2022 was because when this information was blessed to move through my hands to prepare, what was so clear was that this year would be affected by things that happen in the Eastern time zone. And so 508 ET is going to be when that full mastery super moon will reach that peak moment, and that squares our 13 with the infinite on the 13th day. Now, what does that mean? It means that the 7 days of hope that are now ignited, the 9 days of unification, will land square on the 13th at a moment where in the energy of the one and the one, all energies are receiving that mastery up level in that peak experience. All energy is neutral. What's meeting that energy in this extraordinary force of the double cross of the infinite is what's going to affect the sea of neutrality. The sea of neutrality, imagine it. Feel your hands, right? You guys feeling your hands? You feel your hands straight?
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
I'm
this is
enjoying
fun,
it.
right? I'm really feeling my hands as I was trying to get all of our hands in here today. So as we're feeling our hands, imagine, and you might want to play along with me right now and put your hands up, right? So you want to keep your arms up about, shoulder right here, and just allow yourself as much as you can, palms facing each other. There we are. And I always like to try and keep high heart, right here, high heart. So you just want to try and keep your high heart. And as you're feeling that, keep them open. I'm about, 3-4 inches apart, but hold them steady. There you are. Breathing in. Exhale through them. Yeah. Allow that smile to come in because that's the sea of neutrality. You're breathing it into form right now. You're breathing it into your palms. You are as I am, the divine in form now, igniting this beautiful sea of neutrality as this space. And so just even if you want to imagine it, offer this beautiful flowing water to come through. Because it's that flowing water, it's that space of creation, it's this beautiful oval energy, this creation seed that is the July experience. And the apex for humanity is going to be on July 13. And that energy, and let's put up the ascended numerology.
Sure.
I want to show it to you with the ascended numerology, because this actually ties into the Pyramid of Peace and the Yucatan Revelations. So let's start right here. This is the ascended numerology for July. And as all of you know, I only ever do these 2 months in advance because in any potentiality, I really don't want to have any form of insider knowledge. I was trying to keep it really tight. So this is, of course, the ancient system of the Magi that takes in the totality of the 13 and our infinite presence. So right now, July 2022 is an 8, which came in as the 17, which the 1 plus the 7 is an igniting presence of infinite nature. Plus, we are in the infinite presence. So if you look at the wheel, you don't even need to understand it. Just breathe it in and look at it. Because right now, we're sitting in the 0. We're sitting in our space of infinite creation. Everything about this month is seed of creation, seed of creation, seed of creation. Feel your hands as I'm sharing this with you. Just keep noticing that sea of neutrality energy, right? Sea of creation, sea of creation. So here we are dancing in this beautiful sea of infinite presence. And look where we're going. We're right now, we're that little dotted line coming up off of that E, heading into that 11. And there really is a beautiful gift. You know, the universe is so lovingly smile-filled, right? I love how they've hit us twice with, you're at the 11 o'clock hour, right? It's like ding, ding, humanity. And so that's what's happening on July 13. We're hitting the second ding, ding, humanity. And then we get to really traverse that until we get to July 22nd. July 22nd is the wild card moment. And this is an incredible thing about July. And the reason we have, and remember, you know, I did this several months ago, and it's still very, very there. This wild card moment is because of the 13th. And that's why bringing 1,000 points of light together on Wednesday, July 13th matters.
Yes.
And you know, Shri and I have never, if I need to get down on my knees and say, help us put 1,000 people together, Shri, let's show them a little bit more about what's happening. I thought we had that graphic here. That's okay. I have it in another. That's okay. You don't need the graphic. What you need to know, let's stop a share. It says we're sharing something right now. Okay. Oh, there it is. We were sharing it.
Yes.
Okay. Forgive us. We have so many shares and my eyes are not reading them. So let's put that back up.
All right. I'll put it back up.
That was it. We do have it. There it is. All right. Because we also have the Global Silent Minute coming up, and I just love this synergy. So July 13. July 13, you've already seen that in the Ascended Numerology, which is the ancient system of the Magi, and those of you that have been noticing Ascended Numerology, those of you that are trained in that science, please look at it. Global meditation for consciousness of humanity is an ignition on July 13th. It is our gathering of the global Minga for positive shift. And when Shri and I were in the Yucatan, and when this first came forward, which was several months ago, when I did the July Revelations and literally just sat back and took about a couple hours to just really integrate what July really meant. And here's the gift. The one and the one and the one is the reflection, is it not?
Yes.
And so when we are able to sustain the unified field of the sea of neutrality simply through I am here, we are able to up-level the gift within so that our presence may become the healer for all that are. So let's just feel our hands for a moment and take in a breath. And I want to invite Shri to talk about the Pyramid of Peace and what's happening, because it's no accident that Shri on July 10, so you want to make a note, the July 10 show is going to all be about the miracle that Shri's live, the miracle of Shri, the miracle of the consciousness and the expansionary experience, and where he has taken the work of David Hawkins into the stellar realms. And so I'm excited about July 10, and I'm excited about you.
Yeah.
And let's remember that the Pyramid of Peace is really the brilliance of 20 years of Shri and I working with the Russian pyramids. We have had 20 years of science, working with the Egyptian healing rods, noting all of this documentation. So bringing our hands together, is it not the moment where these 12 pyramids will hold this energy of the sea of neutrality? And I want Shri to also talk about the water that's going to be happening. So my angel, thank you.
Sure. So beloved ones, thank you for bringing your kind attention to an ancient technology that consciousness is ready to receive again. Take that in. One of the things that has stunned me and inspired me is the fact that on our planet is everything needed to sustain and nourish us, and that human beings have overcomplicated the process time and time again and become dependent upon certain technologies that actually distance us from our divine co-creative nature. So without getting into a big dialogue around that, I want to mention to you that pyramids have been on this planet for so many thousands of years. And many of you who are deep meditators who travel may find yourself in pyramids of knowledge and pyramids of initiation, and that this is a sacred geometrical shape that resonates energy and reminds us of who we really are. And when I say that, take in a breath. Because one of the age-old perennial questions is, who am I?
Yes.
And your divine nature is a breath away from full recognition. The pyramid that we are constructing here at the equator on Gaia will resonate at 600 or higher on David Hawkins' scale of consciousness.
So I want you to stop on that. That's a pause. 600 on Hawkins scale, just this one frequency at the equator. And we're going to talk about why this is so important in a moment when we talk about what happened in the Yucatan. Go ahead,
Well,
honey.
and so 600 is saintliness. 600 is beyond the joy and the love of worldly or human understanding of peace. 600 is the peace that allows all to exist.
Exactly.
It is the peace that is non-reactive, that has no positionality. And so this is the activator for our spiritual DNA.
Exactly.
Now, there have been studies, and I want to share a couple of these with you today. I had a little movie started, and I just thought, let me just share the information.
We've got a lot of energy running here, guys.
Our camera's been going in
It's
and
been
out because of the
crazy.
frequency here. And so I just want you to consider something, that humanity as a whole, if we just average the planet, we're in the very low 200s on this scale. This scale is just a point of conversation,
Right.
but it is scientific, repeatable, and demonstratable. So if humanity is running at around 215 on this scale of consciousness, those of you that have been actively pursuing your awakening, that have actively committing to a spiritual life, are vibrating higher than that. But none of you, let me say this differently, it is unusual to attain a level of 600. This is the level of the great saints that have walked the planet. So it's doable, it's reachable, and now more than ever, it is attainable with your steadfast commitment and your focused awareness and your trust in your divine nature.
There it is.
So let me circle this back to the practical application. When the Russian Federation, when Russia fell and the wall came down, there was a period of about 10 years where the scientists, and Russia had fabulous scientific community, that they were not directed, that the institutions lost their compass a little bit. And a number of those brilliant scientists said, well, I still have my paycheck coming in. I want to study the non-physical. I want to study pyramid energy and holistic healing. And there were some fabulous studies done, and I have
Amazing.
read them. And I met Konstantin Karatakov in 1997, who was the first person to develop a gas discharge device to measure the human biofield with precision. And I'm going to put up a little photo of that, and I want to talk about what this means.
Because this is science, right? This is not woo-woo. This is real documented science.
So on the left side of this picture, you see a typical human biofield with lots of gaps and holes and openings in it. And those gaps and those holes in your energy field are the result of lower frequency thoughts and emotions, the result of contaminations, disease, and discomfort. On the right side of this photo is the actual biofield of a person that has held the Egyptian healing rods or has been in the pyramid for more than 20 minutes. Take a look at the uniformity and the layers of the colors.
And look at the consciousness, because the one on the left, if you are constantly radiating in a field that is seeking to keep you disjointed, it's tough to sustain consciousness. So it really has so much potency, Sri. This is such a potent graphic.
Well, and the reality here that isn't shown in that graphic is that when we hold pyramid charged crystals like the Egyptian healing rods, what happens is your biofield extends out
Right.
to 30 meters.
Take that in.
That's 90, 100 foot out
I
there.
was going to say translate.
And so what this did for me is it opened my eyes like, oh my goodness, it's right here in front of us. And if we as human beings bring our attention to what is sacred and true and get a little less distracted by what keeps us in a fear-based psychology, we can shift everything.
And we're capable of it so easily and effortlessly. You know, as Shree's sharing this, I want to give a shout out to Kyla. You know, right now the clinic is running, and that's why every Sunday our beautiful Kyla is across the street over at the Clinica. And the miracles that are coming out of that clinic, if you've been watching the videos, the combination of the Egyptian healing rods with the laser light has been nothing less than miraculous. So now imagine 12 pyramids, and that's why today's graphic, you see how I use the earth here? This is the Bahareke, because these 12 pyramids will form this beautiful circle of indigenous unification around the planet. Our first pyramid right now, as Shree gets ready to share more, is being built by an indigenous tribe from the coast that normally never interfaces with the Kenyari because of these types of conflicts. Their harmony and working together here. They are coming together and making things happen. We are using technologies from several different tribes, yet they are ancient. And so imagine moving that around the planet and then integrating the local technologies of each one of those tribes into this with the water. I mean, Shree, wow, what you've done.
There's a unification in the construction.
Right?
No metal is used in the construction. In order to have the purest resonance, we're using natural materials, and we've added a little carbon fiber. Let's bring in the modern
Innovations
innovations in the joints to keep things nice and tight.
Pretty exciting.
I want to rattle off a few statistics scientifically verified at a number of universities. I want to seed your consciousness with this recognition. Water in the pyramid, even at minus 40 degrees Celsius, does not freeze unless you agitate it. And then the molecules conform to the ambient. Materials in the pyramid increase conductivity. Now, do you know what a capacitor is? It's a device that holds electricity. A neutralized capacitor put in the pyramid accepts an electric charge. And now it holds electricity out of thin air. This is the gateway to 0-point energy, and that it's all right in front of us.
It's not hard.
And we just have to get to the 600 level or higher. And so,
it's really not hard.
Now, a couple of very down-to-earth things.
Yeah.
Water that is conditioned in the pyramid lifts its frequency to match the pyramid. So now human beings that are vibrating at 200 or 300 or even 400, which is a really wonderful level of attainment, if they drink this water, it heals the digestive tract. Ulcers decline, digestion improves, irritable bowel. All of these things can be cleansed and improved or completely eliminated. It depends a little bit on the person as well. There's a synergy between you and the medicine, right? And so one of the things that I loved so much was that they took infant formula, put it in the pyramid, gave it to the mothers, and the incident of childhood diseases and colic went down by more than half, just by conditioning the formula in the pyramid. One other study, this was done in Moscow, Russia. They have a number of prisons in that big city. They took salt and pepper, put it in the pyramid, delivered the salt and pepper to the prisons after it had been conditioned. The recorded level of violence went down by half. The harmony amongst the people who are incarcerated improved. Books were checked out of the library at record high levels, and there was more singing and more conversation and less of that.
Right?
This is why, we call it the pyramid of peace. And there's lots of studies on the benefits to the immune system. So let's bring it down to right here and now. This pyramid, this first one, built with the new engineering and some innovations that I'll reveal in the book that comes out afterwards, is resonating at 600, and it will send a wave out along the equator of this planet. We need to build more of these.
We need to build all 12, guys. Help us help others.
And you can come here and you can sit in the pyramid and discover a conscious connection, a deeper connection to your highest nature. You can condition water, drink that water. We can create and enhance herbs and medicines in ways that bring out their full potential.
And we could take the entire hour just giving you the science and the miracles. And we are just that excited. And
I'm very excited.
We will tomorrow night. So you're going to finish this conversation tomorrow night. Monday magic. You really want to be there. Because in this moment with the Pyramid of Peace and all that you've done and everything he has to share tomorrow night, do you want to give him a quick update?
Okay, I got my camera out and I took a little 30-second video.
Here it is.
Because This is, like any construction project, the first part of it is not the finished part. But let me, actually, I got to click on share.
And we do want to share with you that, many of you had heard about the strike here in Ecuador. And what was so fascinating to Sri and I is we literally left on the plane as the strike began.
Yes.
And when we came back, we were able to get home without any problems. And when we started interfacing and doing ceremony and the 7 days of hope, it was on the third day of the 7 days of hope that the strike was settled.
Yes.
And so always remember that everything is sincerely having its own beautiful effect in that sphere of consciousness that it's gazing in. So Sri, let's see your beautiful update.
Okay, let's take a peek. Here's what it looks like today.
Yeah.
And so you'll notice that they're putting in the footings, and the pad is all there. And the only metal in this structure is going deep into the earth to create those stable footings for the elevated piece. And take a look at the valley beyond. And this is where the radiation will start circulating the globe.
Well, Sri, thank you. That is so exciting. I hope you're all as excited as we are. And, it brings us to this moment. It brings us to the moment of the 7 days of hope. Because bringing your hands to your heart, for the past 7 days, all of you that have been actively participating, thank you. For those of you that are just finding about this right now, thank you.
Yes.
But in that moment, as we're breathing in these 7 days of hope, Sri, let's show them what the 7 days of hope are. Because I know a lot of you have been going, I want to know. And so there it is. All right, guys. So can we make that bigger, honey, for me?
Yeah.
Thank you. So you will notice that the 7 days of hope are the ignition of the 9 days of unification that begin tomorrow. And what's so beautiful about this is that, as we have shared all week, H stands for humanity. It all begins with you, because humanity is really a fluid experience of conscious co-creation. And in this potentiality, we are consistently emerging and moving through many different experiences of that which is humanity. So humanity begins with you. And during these 7 days of hope, it has been about an opening that ignites freedom. Let's remember that July is an activator of freedom, where we can command our light, that we become peaceful prosperity. It was never meant to be hard. Lack is the illusion. Peaceful prosperity comes from our steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust, and the absolute joy of service, of really inviting the smile of humanity, opening to peaceful prosperity as equanimity. And the universe was very clear about that word. And the word equanimity, you can look up all the Webster or whatever other definitions you want to look up. But the little asterisk there is a reminder that equanimity at the end of the day is balance. It's the balance of peace of the mind of illusion that seeks to take us from that which is true. When we invite the smile of self-love to be present, we enter into the compassion that sustains fifth dimensional, higher, whatever beautiful gift you want to add to that. But that compassion sustains the ability to be the witnesser of the witness. And as the sea of neutrality has ignited these 7 days of hope, that beautiful waiting room where we're the witnesser of the witness has ignited this gateway of 9 days of unification, so that we may truly ignite through these 1,000 points of light. And let's go beyond that, into this beautiful recognition on July 13 that sends the signal to the universe, yes, I am here. And we are here. So let's bring our hands to our heart and breathe that in. Because during these next 9 days of unification, please make sure that you are participating with us. There should be all types of text about that everywhere on how you can do that, because we have amazing beings that are participating and beginning to get us going. Because remember, we have that wild card day, July 22nd, moving till we seal at the end of the month. And we have the beautiful hereditary chief, Chief Phil, will be with us. The one and only Ben Bowler will be with us. We have many others that will be with us that I'm not remembering everybody right now, and forgive me for that. Sri, do you remember the rest of the beings that will be with us? I didn't get my list. Karuna's going to be with us. John. Oh my gosh, John, and hopefully Sommer will be with us. So you see, guys, I'm glad I'm hearing you right now. And so speaking of those that we are with, and those that we are truly in love with what they are doing, remember that the 7 days of hope began with light your candle, right? That means lighting the candle within, holding the illumination within, and the joy that comes from the radiance of that experience.
Yes.
And from that, we say yes to humanity. And in saying yes to humanity, Sri, it brings us to our amazing guest. And I'd love you to share who's coming on next here, because
Absolutely.
we are here right now in the energy of really bring your hands to your heart and let's just feel peace in this moment.
Well, it's a pleasure for me to introduce Dot Mayer. Hang on a second. I'm just pulling up her resume, because Dorothy Mayer is a doctorate and an educator and a peace builder whose focus is inspiring cooperation on behalf of the common good. Now, Dot is co-founder of Global Silent Minute and was the founding president and a board member and trustee of the National Peace Academy in the USA and the Global Alliance of Ministries and a whole host of other organizations. This woman has put her love and her action toward education, politics, and grassroots community organizing. And it's truly a delight and a pleasure to bring her forward to meet you right now.
And so we are pleased to welcome the one, the only, the beautiful Dot, who Global Silent Minute just has my heart and my soul. And welcome.
Blessings, joy, and gratitude, Sri and Kira. It's such a delight to be here. And finally, Kira, I said to you yesterday, I can't wait to hear what hope is. Right? So, yeah. And the master number 11 in the month of July, I mean, it reveals the revelation of our time, right? Oneness. It's amazing. And I'm already looking forward to the 13th, 1,000 points of light. Aligning with what is sacred and true. How beautiful. The peace that allows all to exist. Yeah, thank you. Thanks from all of us to both of you.
Oh, Dot, thank you. Every time I connect with Dot, everyone, my heart expands infinitely. It just goes, oh my gosh, there's the Dot moment, right? and I just want to share with everyone while we are here together that when I had the honor of being in your first Global Silent Minute, the very first time I met you, my heart, my eyes were closed, listening to your voice. But what emanated was the pure sincerity of that which you're doing and the truth and the peace. Yes. You are the Global Silent Minute, and we are honored to support you. And sincerely, it is a blessing. And thank you for being here, because in these 7 days of hope, moving into these 9 days of unification, this is a moment where everyone, please, let's learn more, because you really want to be participating in what's going on with Dot.
Well, that means participating with all of us, Sri and Kira, and Jess behind the scenes, and your team there, and the Pyramid of Peace. So beautiful. Yeah, thank you. So, it is a great joy to offer this Global Silent Minute as we experience hope. Humanity opening to peaceful prosperity as equanimity. That's fiery balance.
Beautiful.
So let's begin in the place where all good things begin, in the one heart. The one heart where we experience the pulsing of the heart of the cosmos, where we are open to receive in our chalice the blessings and realizations of hope. And the power of silence is greater than we know. It's in silence that we experience unity, where we experience peace through unity. So we presence in the one heart and experience the resonance of silence as action in sacred unity. The Global Silent Minute was inspired by the original Big Ben Silent Minute, and that Silent Minute at 9 p.m. daily helped to end World War II. In these times, we offer our daily 9 p.m. GMT Global Silent Minute to bring an end to all war, to bring peace to humankind and all of life, as we call for global cooperation, peace, and freedom. The Global Silent Minute invites us to pause in the sanctuary of silence, to recalibrate to a deeper, holistic perspective where our united focus impacts conscious evolution. And why do we ring a bell to enter the silent minute? Thich Nhat Hanh said, "Listen, listen. The sound of the bell invites me back to my true self." So let us prepare to enter the silence together. With a deep breath, we activate the spirit of peace in our own hearts. And we unite our fiery hearts across distance. And now we invite all those on the other side of the veil to join us. When you hear the Tibetan singing bowl, we have entered 1 minute of silence as action in sacred peace through unity. Om Shanti.
As we breathe in to that silence of connectivity and beingness, let us just expand it further as a foundation for our conversations and our actions. Beloved ones, we together, and through this inspired action of dots, the Global Silent Minute, we together create a coherent wave. And I bow, and I honor, and I respect everyone who is participating in this worldwide action, the action of stillness.
Ah, yes, the power, the beauty of silence. Thank you. Thank you for inviting it.
Thank you, dear.
Oh, we are so grateful. We are just so grateful. Shri, would you put up Dot's banner for a moment?
Sure.
I want everyone to just go ahead and there it is right there. And if you would go ahead right there, guys, make a note. Everything is right there that you really want to do. Every day, daily, 9 p.m. GMT, silence as action for global cooperation, peace, and freedom. Right there, www.globalsilentminute.org. Really worth your time to share. Let's really get the word out there and support that, because this is the moment. And Dot, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for humanity. Thank you for being here as part of these 7 Days of Hope, and just for all that you are. My heart is humbled and honored.
Well, we will see you in Ecuador one of these days. Bless you for all that you're doing on behalf of the good of the whole.
Thank you, and we look
you.
forward to that day. Many blessings.
Much love.
Namaste. And everyone breathing in the blessing of what we have just learned and shared from Dot. And I hope you really made a note about that Global Silent Minute. I want you to keep your hands on your heart, because in this moment, in this energy, we want to offer another blessing that happened in the Yucatan. And then we're going to be going to your comments and questions, because we have quite a few. But this is an important moment to receive. When Shri and I arrived, and I said it would tie back to the pyramid, when Shri and I arrived in Cancun, we immediately knew we didn't belong there. It was a very chaotic energy for us. And so we also found out immediately that you can't fly to Merida. We didn't know why. We just knew there was just no way to fly because it was a 5-hour drive. So when we were in this beautiful vehicle that we were able to get and go on the way to Merida, about halfway down on the highway, I'm suddenly overwhelmed with nausea and I feel like I'm just going to lose it. And as that's happening, I heard it was 1,000 voices crying. It was like 1,000 mothers crying at once. And it was so big and so present, I couldn't hide what was happening from our driver. It was just Sheree and I in the car, thank goodness. And so the driver pulled over and I said, what is happening? Why do I hear 1,000 mothers crying? And he said, well, don't you know about the cross? And of course, this is the cross we talked about during Monday Magic a few weeks ago, that about 15, 20 years ago, according to this gentleman, he said that they put in virtually overnight a cross of microwave towers that radiate in the Yucatan, and that after those towers went up, as they were going up, many children and people died literally overnight in many of the small villages. Some of the villages disappeared overnight. They just were no longer there, and nobody really even knows why. And where we were driving at that moment in the highway happened to be the center of the cross, and where they come every year to still stand on the highway and protest what happened. And we're sharing this with you because of the energy, right? Before I show the video?
Yeah, no, the energy, so what's happened over the years is they've expanded the cross, they've expanded the towers, they've added new antennae.
Many crosses in the middle of the cross.
And one of the things that stunned me in the Yucatan is that there's so much open space, beautiful, beautiful land that has, a rocky...
It's like because it's solid rock. Remember, the Yucatan is a solid rock.
And I got out my cell phone to check the velocity, and I'm going, oh my goodness, there's so much velocity here.
So what happens is that this mega network of towers, we started, you could hear it if you're really at a level of conscious.
Therein is the side effect.
And the frequency in exchange for great service, and I couldn't even hold a phone. Literally, I had glass globes exploding next to me because my body was so out of sync with this extraordinary amount of radiation that was coming toward us all, or a radiating presence. But what was so clear was that this system is being hijacked, meaning that the rock that this system is built on, because it's flat, those frequencies are going all around the planet, sustaining fear and chaos. And it was very challenging to be with that initially.
A lot of anxiety generated.
And it's a very, and what's happened in the Yucatan, we could take a whole show on it, and we will as well. So here's the miracle and why we're sharing this with you right now. It was in that moment after he learned about, who we were, what we do kind of thing. He said, oh, you're holy people. Then I must bring you to Izamal. And so Izamal is a miracle city. We'll share a little bit more, but I want you to bring your hands to your heart, and in the energy of the global silent minute, in the energy of peace, in the energy of miracle presence, take a look. We'll be right back. 2 minutes.
All right. Let me load up that video.
There it is. All right.
Because as we are here right now, roses are certainly for Maria. All of these roses are also our offering to the mind. What if we just drop rose petals as we're walking in that says, we remember you, we know who you are. things that caught my attention was, of course, you know, in Ecuador, Inga is the only round temple in the Incan Empire. And look what we found here. This is a very old structure that has been continually used. You can see that that floor is probably only around 100 years old, but yet this is much, much older. And look up here. Don't we love this? Look at this. Is this beautiful? So just take a moment of the integration, the continual use, and the fact that the shape of creation has been standing, and they have continually used this for quite a long time. There's a lot more to discover. Let's have some fun. Yeah.
So breathing that in, taking in a deep breath of knowing and presence. July is a miracle moment. July is the 11. It is the 1 and the 1. It is an opportunity to really stand up and say yes. It is a call and it is a remembrance. And in Izamal, the whole reason that came to be, and you notice that Sri and I were wearing 2 different outfits there, that's because on the way down from Cancun, it was so powerful, and we were the only people in the cathedral that day, and I had very powerful visions of light from that Maria and the energy of the Mayan and the temples that are there, that we just brought our group there. Because what we have discovered is that on all of our sacred journeys, it is the emergent process that allows us to find the greatest discoveries. Those that were at the ceremony yesterday, we played for the very first time some very deep revelations from Mayapan. Tomorrow night at Monday Magic, we will play part 2. Parts 1 and part 2 will both be at Monday Magic tomorrow. So remember, today is day 7. Today is the day that the H.O.P.E. comes forward in joy as together we stand and move into our 9 days of unification with all of these beautiful contributors. You're going to want to really pay attention to this every day, preparing for this July 13 moment.
July 13 is indeed a call forward. Everything we've shared with you thus far, I trust that it's igniting a recognition, igniting a trust and a hope for all of us, because hope has been redefined, has it not?
Yes.
And when we gaze out and see an emergent flower or an insect, a butterfly, which is so much of the July energy, take that moment and breathe in the emergent energy. That which is arising is wholesome.
Yeah, thank you. No, keep going. I'm
Yeah.
I'm stuck
And speaking
in it.
of that which is arising, we just got a little summary of some of the texts that people that have been sharing, and I want to just acknowledge some of these as I say hello to the beautiful community. So I'm going to go kind of quickly here.
And some of these are mentioning Dot, too. So,
Yeah.
Dot, if you're listening, there's lots of joy coming your way. Global Silent Minute, guys.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So Patricia writes, "May peace prevail on earth for all."
And so it is.
And Jerry shares, "So glad to be here with you all." Sarah says, "Hugs, hugs, 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 hugs. Love and light to everybody. So joy-filled to be here." And Perfect Jewel says, "Blessed beloveds, we are here." Wow, there's a declaration of presence.
Love
Yes.
that. Love that.
Rachel writes, "Hugs and so much love." Dia Therese, joyous, joyous, joyous to my sister and fellow travelers." And Helen Wong writes, "I made it."
Right on, Helen.
All
Woo!
right.
Woo!
Evelyn is saying, "I'm listening to you from Ireland, and I'm so delighted to be here
Hey,
live."
top of the morning to ya.
And there's more coming through
There's
here.
more than we can read. They're all amazing.
Yes, so Lars says, "Hey, Pyramid Magic."
So true. Help us, help more, guys.
And Baldevi says, "I love these updates," and namaste to Dot. And Angela says, "Thank you, Dot. Thank you. Namaste."
Yeah.
And Rachel writes, "Welcome Dot. And so the
We got
blessing,
a lot of Dot going
a lot
on
of hugs
here.
happening here.
Dot, go to the YouTube and grab all your beautiful
Oh,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there's several more.
Oh, love you, Dot. You're making me cry, Dot. Oh.
And Gary writes, the more I wake up, the more I realize how far from love I had truly wandered. And now I find myself working toward the love. I ran away from what a wonderful, awesome learning experience this life truly is.
Oh, we love you so much,
thank you for
Gary.
that renewal and that confirmation that we are always at choice.
We love you, Gary.
Much love. And Linda writes, such a historic moment in this timeline.
Agreed.
So it is.
Oh, and Angela wrote, the shot of the church blew me away. You know, it's a violet ray Maria with these beautiful keys, you know, like these keys to eternity. And there have been so many miracles there. Her hair keeps growing. They cut it and it keeps growing. When the Pope came, Pope John Paul II was there, lots of miracles. Very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so one of the takeaways is that there is purity and trust and restoration in all of the great faiths.
Yes.
There is purity and trust and restoration in the human soul. And the essence of who we are is the gateway to that which we will be. Therein is a paradox, my beloveds.
Oh, in every way. And, you know, I want to take one moment because our beautiful bodies that give residence to this extraordinary journey through consciousness, I want you to look at the Ascended Numerology for July and pay attention to that second chakra is really getting a workout, right? It's all about creation, the egg of creation. And this is why Inga Perka and you know, the egg of creation of the Incan centers and all of the roundness, all of the divine feminine healing, all of the wells and the chalice energy this month is calling out and saying, look, I am as you are, because all of your divine creation energy this month is tied to that second chakra, guys. But look at the middle of your body there, that third chakra. It's all about trust, 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 because that's where we're going. That's the last day of the month. And what's so important is, well, it's the 28th. And what's so important about the 28th is that that's when that Jupiter retrograde apparition begins. It will begin as a 3, as the triple 1. So as you walk through this month, peace in the first chakra comes from the trust in the divine, to know that you deserve because you were born. Love in the second chakra comes when you can let go of expectation and breathe in the creation of that which you are, as I am. And joy sustains the third chakra when we let go of the need of competition, greed, or jealousy. In that moment, that first chakra transcends itself as the foundation of peace.
Yes.
Where the love may rise, so the joy may be sustained, so that the ascended heart may anchor as the sea of neutrality. I am here as you are. And this is a profound month for humanity. I pray that we see you all tomorrow night at Monday Magic. If you don't know about that, go to shriandkira.com and just be there. Shri has some massive pyramid revelations, and we will be playing to you both parts 1 and part 2 of the full Yucatan revelations. There's a lot coming in, my angels. So
Yes.
much has happened.
Beloved ones, we invite you, if you visit shriandkira.com, you can find the links to register for Monday Magic, to register for the global meditation, because each of you are being called. You, me, all of us are lineage
Yes.
holders.
In every way. And so remember this too, Global Silent Minute. Start a new habit. Why not help humanity call in and usher in the peace that is ours to birth? In a month of creation, and in a month where all the puzzle pieces and that kaleidoscope is coming together. Let's have some fun. Why not?
Absolutely. So, beloved ones, I want to invite us, before we formally close this time together, to come back to the place we began, which is right here at your hearts.
Yes.
To bring a hand to your heart if it's safe to do so. And to allow yourselves to take a moment on the inhale and to recognize that pure divine Shakti, the energy of creation, and recognize that just through thinking about it, and inhale that, Ave, hail to the divine. And on the exhale, to release all resistance, Sa. Ave on the inhale, Sa on the exhale. let's do that together as a community and have the experience of that divine connection right now. Big breath in. Sigh. One more time. Sigh.
And smile.
And smile.
Because our smile sends the signal to the universe that we are present, we are aware, and we are here to serve. Global Minga is an opportunity to just say yes because it's just the right thing to do, and so many are freed through the blessing of you. Thank you for the gift of you being you. We are honored to share this time with you every Sunday.
Yes.
And we are excited to be with you tomorrow at Monday Magic. Stay with us through the 9 days of unification as humanity arises as 1,000 points of light. We're going to go right by that on July 13. We love you with all our heart.